Hey, it's Tpok. Uh, I'm back before my vacation 'cause I figured out I didn't do enough recording. So, gonna try to squeeze in as much as I can right here. Though I don't know how much I'll add to the stuff, the surplus of recordings I have right now. So, because I want to keep it balanced between Katawa Shoujo and Symphonic Rain. But I'm not sure now, so there's probably going to be more Katawa Shoujo. It's become a bit of routine now, passes the time at least. I wish I had some free time to pass. From small talk to depression in less than 5 seconds, I think it's a new record for her. She seems a bit down in general today, even compared to normal. Considering she has to work 2 jobs just to support herself, I could see how that would take a toll on her lifestyle. Come to think of it, the pay for a job here can't be all that bad. The idea of staff in such a prestigious private school going hungry strikes me as counterintuitive. Working 2 jobs must take a lot of time. I'd probably never manage it. Now watch, she's gonna say like, I actually have 3 jobs. No, okay, never mind. You're lucky. Being a student, do you think you'll be able to go to university? If she's asking, then I guess that's the expected result of having this kind of education. Private schools like this don't exactly come cheap. I guess I have the money, I think. I've got plans which will require going to one, and my marks are good enough. It's more of a matter how I'll pay to do so. Universities cost so much that I'm having to work 2 jobs to afford to enter it. Paying for daily expenses too makes it a lot harder. If you're reading this much though, that means you're doing well in school, right? Interesting logical jump. Not an altogether wrong one though. I suppose so. I didn't find any of the exams very hard aside from maybe 1 or 2. Do you mind if I ask what studies you're pursuing in university? I think from Hanako's she said like European history. Yuko appears to genuinely brighten at the question. Anthropology. To be specific, I'm specializing in the history of the classical era Athenian civilization and democracy. So, just Greek history. She really seems to know her stuff. Such enthusiasm is to be admired, and it's nice to see her genuinely excited about something. I guess even somebody like Yuko can be happy if she had a visible road ahead of her. That's good to hear. If I didn't even get to finish. Both of us jump at the sudden interruption coming from my pocket. Apologizing profusely and quickly shuffling into the hallway as I fumble with the cover of my mobile phone. I glance at the screen. Weird. It's a mobile number I don't recognize, considering I can count the number of people with my number on one hand. I briefly wonder whether it's some telemarketer that lucked out. It's gonna be Kenji. Hello, Hisao Nakai speaking. Geez, pick up faster next time. Anyway, guess who? I was right. It only takes me a second to recognize the distinctively deep, brusque voice. What? Never mind. Hey Misha, didn't expect you to call me. Huh? You actually think I sound like her? Not at all, Akira. I don't remember giving you my number though, so I thought I'd mess with you. Oh, that? I got Lily to give it to me. Not hard. She positively brims with pride at the statement. She's trying to get me caught up in her pace, I know it. I suppose she shouldn't be surprised that the two would share my number though, given how close they are. So, what's up? You free right now? I guess. Why? Could you meet me at the park in town? I just want to talk to you about some stuff. Is that an invitation to a date? What? Of course not. She sounds suddenly crestfallen, her previous teasing nature having instantaneously left. It seems strange for her. Anyway, I don't see why not. When do you want to meet? Kind of now-ish. Wait, right now, but it's... The dead silence suddenly coming from the phone announces the fact that she is unceremoniously hung up. For a long time I just stand there staring at the call-ended message on the screen while replaying the conversation in my head. What the hell, Akira? I'm still going though. Throwing a glance up and down the street, I cross the road and step into the park. I've learned to pace myself on such walks mostly because of Lily's slower speed during our forays into town means I have to consciously slow myself down. That aside, I hope Akira doesn't expect me to be immediately prompt. Hello? It only takes a couple of seconds to spot her waiting on a bench with a can of beer in her hand. The look she gives me as I walk up lacks any hint of acknowledgement or greeting. What's with that look? I needn't have come, you know. I knew you would. You're that kind of person after all. I lower my brow at her remark as she disposes of the can, emptied by the time I arrived, and a metallic clatter rings out. Akira takes a seat on the old wooden bench and I follow her lead. She takes another can of beer from beside her and opens it before speaking, taking a large gulp. She seems to really like that stuff. I suppose I don't need to ask what this is about, or rather who it's about. I heard from Lily that you asked about our family. They share more than phone numbers, that's for sure. I'd probably be very worried right now if it weren't for the total lack of malice in her voice. Rather, her tone sounds almost wistful. Idle curiosity, mostly. I have to admit, I never guessed you two were half Scottish. She gives a wry chuckle of amusement. I've heard that before, trust me. I see half vampire with those red, now purple eyes. The small smile falls from her face, her eyes looking ahead distantly. Aside from the occasional elderly couple talking as they slowly walk the meandering path, and the odd aging car, it's pleasantly quiet. She didn't tell you everything, though, did she? It was pretty brief. Your parents live in Scotland, she hasn't met them since she was 12, and she wants to meet them again. It's always surprised me how devoted she is to her parents, for all the good they did us. The way she says it sounds almost derisive. She gives a small sigh as if to quickly brush the feelings away. Why do you think they left, Hisao? Why do I think they left? From what Lily told me, it was because of work. I guess a pretty decently paying job was involved as well, given the way your parents seem to live. So Lily went to a private school, and that's why she carries herself with these airs and graces of the upper class. Yeah, since the business in Iverness boomed, our father decided to move directly to the same city as its headquarters. That's just the conclusion I thought you'd come to, though. You're too good-natured. You don't think they left for their career? I'm sitting here bitching to you about it. What do you think? Yamaku Academy. I've always felt that place was kinda creepy. Like it was an isolated hideaway for those proper society. Doesn't want... What? Like it was an isolated hideaway for those proper society doesn't want to see nor hear. They'll probably just rue the fact that Lily wasn't old enough to be shoved there by the time they left. A long silence follows her abrupt and very harsh criticism of her own parents and Yamaku. Lily's blindness is hardly something that could be simply ignored for a high-class family attempting to keep up appearances, much less so when a lucrative offer is on the table. Eventually, Akira gives a derisive snort, her feelings coming to a head. Moving to secure our financial future with this new job posting. Even at the time, I could hardly believed it. Not wanting to simply be an avenue for her venting, I gently try to steer the discussion. So you stayed in Japan with Lily, then? Either I stayed with her, or she went to live with an ailing grandmother and grandfather. What about Shizune's family? If you're cousins, then... Our fathers hate each other. I'd have been more been happy to tell them to go screw themselves and live with them anyway, but Lily wouldn't have wanted that. I'd also had an offer for a job by then, so we did our best to keep our parents' house in proper shape and tried to continue our lives as if they'd never left. So you just lived by yourselves? Basically. Lily had school and I had my job, so we weren't exactly languishing. With her schooling, her study, and having to do chores while I worked, though, I can't help feeling like I failed her. In the end, I tried to be there for her and screwed it up. Expecting a 19-year-old to be a mother for a blind child is ridiculous. So Lily and Akira lived alone after their parents moved, with Lily largely taking care of herself. I guess that explains her apparent independence compared to many in Yamaku. I may have lived alone much of the time since my parents both worked, but that's just something else entirely. Sorry for making you listen to my moaning, Hisao.